application, we're now going to add buttons for or a button for the user to interact with to start the exam. So at the bottom of the VStack, below the 10-minute warning, we have a button that says start with two squiggly brackets at the bottom. When I hit the start button, that will change the start time to be the current time. So start time equals the current date and time. We then want the interface to start counting down how long the student has to go in the exam. So we have for that do a timer, which will be a scheduled timer with a time interval that repeats. So this is a time interval of 1 second. So the code we're going to write will repeat every 1 second. Repeating is a bool, which means either true or false. And yes, it is true that we do want it to repeat. I'm going to get rid of the block and add in my own brackets. The timer is a variable inside these brackets that allows us to stop the timer when we're ready. So every 1 second, I want to update the current time to equal the current date and time according to the system clock. So that now update this display at the top of the screen. It will not update my start time every 1 second because that's actually set outside the timer. So I hit the start button and it'll set the start time but won't repeat it since it's outside the timer. So once that's running, we then need to create a variable that displays how long to go in the exam. So I'm again going to create a computed variable, one that does some calculations for me. I'm going to do var time remaining display, which is going to be a string. And for now, I'm going to return just some text. I'm also going to create a variable called time remaining, which will be a double, which at the moment I'll return 0.0. So this is just so I have a time remaining that I can use for calculations and a display that I can use to display it inside the progress bar. So I'll take the working time display and copy it in and set my time remaining to the same decimal places. So I should be able to put my time remaining display over top of my capsule. Overlay, some text, and the time remaining display. Zero minutes. I'll give that a better font. There we go. So the time remaining is actually the time from the current time distance to another date, which will be my end time. So it's the current time, how long until the end time. You can see it's 5,400 minutes, which is what I would expect, because that's 90 minutes in seconds. So let's divide that by 60, and I've got 90 minutes. And because this is rounding to 0 decimal places, that will stay at 90 minutes until it counts down to 89 without a decimal place.